News alert, DNA results could be coming in at any moment in week 3 of the search for Nancy Guthrie. The FBI has been testing a glove recovered about 2 miles from Nancy's home, which they think looks very similar to the gloves of the suspect you're seeing on your screen. I want to go to Alicia Cunha. She is on the ground in Tucson with an update. Hi, Alicia. Good morning. Afternoon. I saw you this morning, too.
I did talk to you this morning, yes. Good afternoon, Dana. The Pima County Sheriff has now officially eliminated members of the Guthrie family as suspects. They released a statement. It reads entirely, quote, "To be clear, the Guthrie family, to include all siblings and spouses, has been cleared as possible suspects in this case. The family has been nothing but cooperative and gracious and are victims in this case. To suggest otherwise is not only wrong, it is cruel. The Guthrie family are victims, plain and simple. Please, I'm begging you, the media, to honor your profession and report with some sense of compassion and professionalism." Fox News reached out for more clarification over whether DNA helped clear the family. The sheriff tells Matt Finn, quote, "I'm not going to go there. They are all victims, and I will not stand quiet when they are re-victimized." Today, the sheriff's department confirmed the clothing worn by the suspect in these images may have been purchased at Walmart. They say it remains a possibility only. You'll recall last week, the FBI said it believes the backpack worn by the suspect is a Walmart brand Ozark Trail hiker pack. And we are also awaiting word from the FBI on whether DNA testing on a glove found 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's house matches the DNA found inside her home. All this as Savannah Guthrie makes another appeal to whoever did this.
I wanted to say to whoever has her or knows where she is that it's never too late. And you're not lost or alone. And it is never too late to do the right thing.
In a call with the New York Post, the president threatened if Nancy Guthrie is not found alive, he would want the Justice Department to seek the death penalty against whoever is convicted. Dana, Arizona is a death penalty state, so that could be on the table either way. However, we hope this is not a homicide case. Dana?
Absolutely. Alicia, thank you so much. And Emily, if we could go to you. So since I was on this morning, then you were on at noon, and now here we are. It's like every few hours you get a little bit more of a tidbit of information. Alicia said that she had gone back to them asking, was it the DNA that ruled out the family? He says he's not going to comment, but what do you think?
I thought it was an interesting and seemingly premature statement for the sheriff to make. I'm surprised that either at the outset, he didn't say, please respect the family who are all victims in this and respect the investigation while we pursue all leads. I think now it seems as if he's making that point in the absence, however, of any kind of identification of who the actual abductor was. So here we're sitting with the same dearth of information, but all of a sudden we know significantly, if this were true, that the family's ruled out. That is a major conclusion to make. So if that is indeed true, it means that they either know a lot more that they haven't shared with us, i.e. who the perp is, or it's just a PR execution on their part. I will say that just briefly, for the DNA points that many are making, and including the investigators who are saying we're trying all avenues with DNA, just remember that the default after the Golden State Killer in 2018, after that was used, the default was switched on these ancestry websites to not share your DNA with law enforcement. So people, I think, optimistically think that there's a huge chance that someone's DNA genetically or genealogically will be used, will be able to pursue a match. Overnight, it went from millions of profiles to thousands. So it's incumbent, if you believe in solving cold cases and new cases and coming to terms with the privacy issues surrounding these very narrowly tailored DNA acquisition attempts, then please toggle off or toggle on, whatever it's called, so that you can be a part of it, because this is an uphill battle for these investigators.
The sheriff hasn't done a press conference in a few days, but he did issue this statement today, Tyrus.
Yeah. The frustrating thing is we don't really get to focus so much on what's going on with the victim in this. It seems like we have been covering a story within a story. Mm-hmm. And it's, with all due respect, the unprofessional divide between the FBI and the sheriff department. And I think today is the biggest glooming example of that. Why wasn't there a joint statement with the FBI and the sheriff? Because this is a pretty big deal to rule out the family. I also have some issues with the verbiage, and words matter. And I know we've gone through this period where everyone just says things, but if the sheriff to say he would, at this time, they are not people of interest, that I think everyone's okay with that. But it was such a personal, like he was protecting them, not just from the media. And you always have to read in between the lines. It was almost a shot I felt to the FBI as well. So I think the verbiage, the sheriff is just, I think the frustrating thing is both sides want the same result. They want this woman home. They want her safe. And I'm not saying that no one's not doing their job, but the back and forth and that very personal statement is troubling.
But maybe if they can rule out some possible suspects, that at least narrows the focus, or does it widen it?
Yeah, well, you would think that if they are using DNA to rule out family members, then they must have a really good DNA profile that they're able to use. And obviously, whether or not that person, I guess it'll probably depend more upon whether or not that person has a criminal record, and so that their DNA is in there to begin with. But I think all of it, the fact that it's taken, we're in our third week now before they eliminate the family, I think probably it kind of goes to the heart of just how baffling the case is. I mean, whether this was some sort of robbery gone wrong, if it was, why would you take the person or a body with you? What was in the backpack when you're going into the residence? There are just so many baffling questions about all of it, which I think is both what makes it so difficult, but also probably what generates this level of interest in it, and why you have a lot of, apparently, a lot of really nasty, gross people trying to capitalize off of it with and my belief that the letters are probably
for the ransom.
That they've seen an opportunity and they're trying to take advantage of it.
And I think that has been something that is interesting to watch over these past 3 weeks. So Savannah has kept people updated to the extent that she can, and she's not appealing to the kidnappers. In the latest video last night, it seemed like she was appealing just to the person or the persons who were saying it's not too late to do the right thing.
I think that's right. And I really struggled with preparing for this topic because I think as a member of the media, we often get caught up in the mechanics of the investigation because that's what we're trained to do. And sometimes we forget to sit with the reality that there's an 84-year-old woman missing. She's a mother, she's a grandmother, and this family has to wake up with not knowing whether it's good news or it's bad news every day for the past couple of weeks.
If they're sleeping at all.
Yes, exactly. They're like, well, we just don't know. And as somebody who has both my parents alive and I watch them age every day, think about their vulnerability, I can't think like how I would be in this situation. So right now, my heart goes out to the Guthrie family because this cannot be easy. I've met Savannah. She's somebody who's part of the Washington press corps for a long time, so she's been around Washington. And just to see the terror and the fear in her face as she's trying to find her mother, it's heartbreaking. And so I think sometimes, and to your point, Charlie, like to separate the work, our job as journalists versus there's a human element to that, and the human element is so real, in this case more than any other.
And a huge amount of interest in it because
of who it is.
Yeah, not only just who it is, but also to think like, who would take an 84-year-old woman?
That's right.
And people who care, who genuinely care.
Yes, very much. All right, well, we will move on to the next topic and bring you any news on the Savannah Guthrie update as we have it. Coming up next.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.